The music news for the streets, the music news for your beats, the news for the music stuff that you gonna need. We gon' talk about plugins, we gon' talk about gear. If it's news on this music, we gon' talk about it here. Let's go.
As a lot of you guys may know, recently DSPs have been losing their minds and basically doing whatever they want. And by DSP, I mean basically digital streaming platforms and the distributors to those platforms. So as we know, Spotify has just recently changed their policy, and they're not going to be paying people who get under $1,000 for a stream. All they're going to pay you is for basically the songwriting credits, which I believe is 20% of that 0.0003 cents, which is pretty trash, as most of us know. But it hasn't stopped there. You know, Tunecore has been doing ridiculous things. Like, we all know that Tunecore recently just took down a whole bunch of Ben Jordan's music because he was speaking out about DSPs and stuff like that. And this isn't like really the first time that, we've heard about DSPs taking advantage of people or DSPs doing whatever they want. So I know a ways back, Kanye had the most crazy rant in the world. And I get that a lot of the things that he was saying was kind of hurtful and, not right. So I'm not agreeing with everything that Kanye West was saying. Definitely not doing that. I'm more of a Kanye fan from, All Falls Down and Jesus Walks. That's my Kanye. This new Kanye isn't necessarily the character that I know or that I loved and grew up listening to. But with that being said, within every piece of, what some people may say garbage things that he's saying, there are a lot of truths in those sayings. So I'm not going to get into a lot of it, but a lot of it I am going to get into because it's really kind of a double standard on the way that they treat him, and it's kind of jacked up the way that they treat artists. So I have this clip right here from TMZ. I didn't go back and get the old clips, but I got this clip right here from TMZ. And basically they ran down Kanye at an airport and they started asking him some questions. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to react to this. I'm going to bring up some different examples of other things. And then I'm going to actually react to Top Music Attorney is actually in the middle of a lawsuit, or I guess, I don't know if she's litigating against Tunecore or whatever, but she just dropped a fire video the other day, and I kind of talked about it on the news report that I just dropped on Saturday. And so I kind of want to talk about that. I want to talk about some other people's experiences so that we can see that these DSPs don't follow the terms of their agreement. And ultimately they do what they want to. So if they don't want to pay you, they won't pay you. So let's go ahead and start off here with Kanye. And this is Kanye kind of at the airport, and they're interviewing him and asking him some questions.
Oh, where's the Apple level? It's just me and my bro Elon. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Some of the streaming platforms removed you.
We number one. Right. We number one,
All right, so I stopped it real quick because this is a main point that I want to hit on in this video, is that a lot of DSPs and streaming platforms took Kanye's music down because of his anti-Semitic rant that he went on, which again, I am not excusing that. I am not racist. I love everybody. I grew up in the suburbs, so I get along with everybody. But what I want to point out, what I don't think is cool, is that they are willing to take Kanye's music off of DSPs because they're saying that his rants and his comments are hurting people. But if you go onto Spotify and you just Google Johnny Rebel, look here, right here. This song right here is on Spotify. I know y'all see, oh, y'all can't even see it. Let me go ahead and, can I scroll down and see it somewhere else? Let me go ahead and mute this because I'm not going to play the song on the platform. Here we go. All right, so this song right here is by Johnny Rebel. Y'all see the name of this damn song? So this shit is literally on fucking Spotify, right? You got Johnny Rebel on Spotify, who is a straight racist, who makes nothing but me. Well, he's dead now, but regardless, this is the music that you can find on this platform. You can come down here and look at this. Look at the name of this song, Coontown. Look at the name of this song, Jigaboo. You know what I'm saying? So you got all these racist ass songs on this platform that they've kept up and that have been over here since the inception of this platform. So if the words that Kanye say are so hurtful to a whole entire, race, of Jewish people, then why does it not matter when there's racist songs that are affecting black people? And that's kind of what Kanye was getting at, is that it only matters to folks that run these platforms, but the people who aren't in power, if there's something that's attacking you and it's something that hurts you, it doesn't matter, right? And so, granted, this has nothing at all to do with this topic, but it absolutely does, and it'll make more sense as I explain. So Nikki Haley was just on the Breakfast Club here a couple weeks ago, right? Nikki Haley is running for president. And on her platform, she has been saying that America wasn't built on racism, which is very hurtful to a black person, because we understand that our ancestors and our relatives were slaves and they helped build this country. And so for you for America to try to not teach critical race theory and basically erase that from history is just insane. So this is her on a black platform. Again, I'm not racist, but I'm just trying to put all this in sight to let you see what Kanye was kind of coming at. So this is her talking to Charlemagne the God on a platform that's basically a black platform.
I don't think that our country was founded to be racist. I don't. I think that it was meant to be this amazing experiment to see if we could have freedom and democracy in a way that all men are created equal.
So here is where it gets nasty, because how are you going to say that America was built on you know what I'm saying, where everybody was supposed to be free, everybody was supposed to be equal, but when the country was created, there was slaves. And so, again, I know this doesn't go into the whole music thing, but it just feels like there's a double standard, because when Kanye says something that may come across racist and it may be hurtful to other people, he gets canceled. When Nikki Haley says something that's, you know what I'm saying, hurtful to other people and that comes across racist, she gets to run for president. So I feel like I just feel like that is just jacked up. So I just wanted to put that little backstory in there. Now let's go ahead and get back to Kanye and get back to the Tunecore and the DSPs and all that, you know what I'm saying? Let's get back to that. So
Everything that they did only helped us. I like it. Remove us. I like simplification. Streaming platforms is bullshit to the artists anyway. Really? Spotify would give us $500 million between all of us and say, work it out amongst yourselves. I'm like, what about Adele? What about Drake? What about Weeknd? What about Taylor Swift? What about me? They like, no. Doesn't matter how much any of y'all stream. Y'all got to work that $500 million. A $500 million? A $500 million? That's what streaming companies think of us as the musicians, and all the label owners just hand it over.
Right.
You understand?
So, you know, what he's saying is basically Spotify and all the DSPs only want to give the artist, $500 billion or $500 million. That's what the artists get to split in order to, you know what I'm saying? That's what the artists get to split, all the artists on the platform. So you, me, Kanye, Drake, Adele, there's only $50 million that they're willing to pay out to the artists on the platform. But then when you go look at how much money Spotify made last year, Spotify made $14.33 billion in 2023. Now, I get that a lot of that goes to wherever, but obviously I've done a video before in the past. Let me go ahead and pull this up so you guys can see it too. So as you see here, Spotify technology annual revenue for 2023 was $14.33 billion. 3.4% of the money that Spotify makes, they pay out to the artist. And so basically what he's saying is they're pocketing all this money. They can't make money without the artist. And that's just something that we all know, is that I get that it's not profits, but we have to think too a lot. We're not going to be able to see the profits, but how much do you really think that it's going to cost to run Spotify? Do you think it's going to cost $12 billion to run Spotify? A lot of that money is going back to obviously the investors and everything like that, but there needs to be a better revenue split. So like when you look at like professional sports, in professional sports, there is like a 50-50 revenue split, because the NFL wouldn't exist without the players. The NBA, it's 52-48. So the players get more than the owners in the NBA, because without the players, there is no league. And so with music and these music streaming platforms, there needs to be a better way, because without the artists, without music, Spotify doesn't exist. but music's going to exist without Spotify, because there was a world that we've all lived in before where there was CD sales and there was all this other stuff. There's other ways for artists to make money. So, you know what I'm saying? Artists could make money, you know, selling CDs, tapes, vinyls, doing more shows, doing more stuff like this. I talked about in the newscast where nowadays you see tickets for like Taylor Swift where they're $1,000 a ticket, right? So if you think about it, the reason why these tickets went from being $50 for a good ticket in like 2000, 2005 to $1,000, because that is a gross change in the amount of money, you know, paid for a ticket. It's because these artists want their money. And the average listener doesn't understand that the artists who are putting together all this music and doing all this stuff are the ones that are getting shafted and the ones that are getting taken advantage of. So basically, to make a long story short, the artists are like, we're going to get our money. So if we got to charge you $1,000 for a ticket because you don't want to buy our CD, we're going to charge you $1,000 for a ticket. We're going to make our money. And when you think about it, it would just be cheaper if we went back to CDs, or a way where people are paying $10 for the CD that they want and they didn't have to pay $1,000 for the ticket. So as we look here, if you hit up Tunecore robbing you, there is all kinds of different stories of how Tunecore has taken advantage of people, how Tunecore hasn't paid out, and how Tunecore has kicked people off the platform. So you can just scroll down and you can literally just type in Tunecore robbing and find all kinds of stories. But here is a story that kind of hurts, because, you know, here is a indie guy who doesn't have much money. At the beginning of the story, he tells you about how he used DistroKid as his DSP. And then he needed to upload something under another artist name, and he just didn't have the money to upgrade to the $79 plan or whatever it is. So he went to Tunecore, and this is kind of his experience with Tunecore. What's up, Dave? Happy birthday, Dick McGuffin.
I went through the whole process, and let me tell you, I was really thorough. I checked everything, double, triple checked. I'm paranoid as fuck. I filled everything correctly. Let's just be clear on that. I choose the release date, I submit, go about my business. Couple days go by, I receive an email. Now, you can't make this shit up. Look at this. Hello there. Per the Tunecore terms and conditions, Tunecore has the right in its sole discretion to reject any material submitted by Tunecore users for distribution. This notice is to inform you that Tunecore has blocked my fucking album from being downloaded and streamed from all the fucking stores I've uploaded to. While we have no refund policy, of course, refund for your submission can be processed under certain circumstances, which are not disclosed in this email, are actually nowhere fucking disclosed. Please let us know if you have any questions. I did have some questions, so I wrote them back. My main question was, what the fuck? I submitted an album for distribution last week, but it got blocked. I would like to know why. Fair question, right? Now, a couple days go by, I get an email like this. Very short and sweet. Your request has been updated. This is the comments here. Victor, my reviewer pal. Hello there. Thank you for writing, and I apologize for the delay. Unfortunately, we have made an internal decision not to release the content and to protect our review policies and practices. So we do not disclose the reasons why releases are blocked. Best Victor, that's it. That's all I got from them.
So, you know, again, that's super jacked up. As you see there, your boy, basically, they took his money to upload his CD, and he had to pay for each individual song. And then they blocked his CD and didn't give him a refund. So, you know what I'm saying? They basically took this dude's money, who's already said, I ain't got much money. I had to leave DistroKid because I didn't have enough money. And Tunecore was the solution for me. And then they sent him that BS letter. So you see what they said back to him. He showed you the letter. He showed you the evidence, basically saying, you know, Tunecore robbed him and took his money. So we'll just go ahead and get right into the top music attorney. Now this right here is absolute fire. She basically is in the middle of a lawsuit or litigation with Tunecore. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start this one up right here. This is a very good video. If you didn't watch the video, you know, it's pretty fire. So here we go.
So here's what happened related to Tunecore. My law firm, as you guys know, it's been in business for 9 years. From time to time, artists will lose access to their accounts. Okay, so like their distribution account, they might have their music taken off of music platforms. Things happen, right? And sometimes it's because there was an error, sometimes because there was a claim. There might have been copyright infringement, or someone's claiming there was copyright infringement. So distributors will yank the music off of music platforms, send notices to the artists, and sometimes this stuff gets escalated to me, right? I get hired as an attorney and they go, Crystal, I've been locked out of my account. The distributor has my money and won't release it to me. Please help. This is
all right. So you see that this is normal. So this isn't like a one-off thing. You know what I'm saying? So as we see, what she's saying is that this is what she does for a job. People often hit her up and pay her because music distributors don't want to pay the artist the money that the artist has earned, which is just nasty work, because again, without the musicians, the music distributors can't make any money. They're not the talented ones. They're not the ones that are putting in the hours, learning how to play instruments, learning how to rap, writing vocals, learning how to engineer, master. They're not the ones that are doing anything. And so you have to think about it like this too. So if the music distributor isn't paying the artist, well, the artist probably has the producer on the track, probably has the engineer on the track, probably has whoever helped write the song on the track. So it's not like they're just taking money out of one person's pocket or one person's mouth. They're taking money out of all these different people who are putting in the work to put this music together, which makes it super nasty work, and they just don't care.
Is far and few. Artists do not have the luxury, usually, of having the money to go and hire an attorney. And this was actually the first time that I dealt with Tunecore, because I've handled this before. We send a letter to the distributor, we explain the situation, and we explain more than anything else. And we just go, look, at the end of the day, you can kick artists off your platform. You don't get to keep their money. You don't get to just block them out and take their royalties, regardless of what you're claiming they did, which most of the time they're not going to even try to prove. So most of the time we get the money back. We even sometimes get music reinstated. We get the account reinstated. Everyone's happy. So in this scenario, our client, who gave me authority to talk about this generally, hired us because his music got yanked from music platforms. Tunecore locked him out of his account. And in this case, there were tens of thousands of dollars of royalties here. And he had reached out, actually over the course of several years, trying to get help, trying to get a response, trying to figure out what was all going on. So
again, what's nasty about this is that your average person, like me, maybe you watching this video, it's not going to be tens of thousands of dollars. So when they lock you out of your account, or when they, like the last guy, when they took his money, sent him a letter and said they weren't going to upload it, you don't have the money to pay for a lawyer. Like a lawyer retainer is going to be $1,500, $2,000, something like that. So it's easy for these companies just to be like, nah, we're not going to give you that, fam. If you want to go get a lawyer, go ahead. But, it's only $500 that you're fighting for. It's going to cost you more than $500 to get a lawyer. So do you think that it's going to be worth it in the long run? And of course not. It's not going to be worth it in the long run, because you're going to have to pay the lawyer $1,000. The difference is going to be $1,000 between the $500 you made and the $1,500 retainer. So, that's jacked up. This stuff we need to be sharing this information more as much as possible so that we can get this fixed, because they're not going to fix it themselves. The DSPs and all these companies, they all work together. I've said this before and I'll say it again. All of the investors, all of the, the stockholders, they all are invested in different music avenues. So whether it's different catalogs, whether it's UMG, Sony, whatever the music company is, they have stock in those companies. So they want to get those streams, and they want to get the streams so they can get paid back.
So if you go to what is now Section 1E as in egg, it goes, in the event the company has, in good faith discretion, reason to suspect that your account or recordings have been subject to, involved in, or generated revenue from violating the terms of service, fraud, infringement of copyright, trademark, right of publicity, or any intellectual property right, failure to comply with any third-party license requirement, or streaming manipulation, aka fake plays, collectively defined as improper conduct. So this was Tunecore's argument. They go, well, pursuant to our terms of service, which your client agreed to. And I go, well, did he agree to it? All right, most of the time when you upload, you have to click a little thing and say, I agree to your terms of service. I go, the time that our client's music was taken down was back in 2020. And I go, I don't have the terms of service from 2020. This says it was just updated like a few days ago. Odd. Can you?
Yeah, see? So, I mean, you know, this dude's had his music taken down for 3 years. He's been fighting with Tunecore to get money that he earned. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he didn't break any laws because, again, you can stream up to 90%, but there's more evidence coming. So this is a fire video. She did a really good job putting this together.
Send me the applicable terms of service so we can just take a look. All right, we're always happy to consider all the things because at this point we haven't seen controlling terms of service for that period, and we also have not seen any evidence. You're saying there was all this streaming fraud, fraudsters left, right, and center. So I have not seen anything. Produce the evidence, help me understand, and we can have a meaningful conversation. Because at this point, I'm the only one that decided to legal argument of why you're not allowed to keep someone else's money. So some time passes. And we come back and we go, look, we did some additional research, okay? Because the terms of service of which you are relying on are subject to New York law. In New York, and I'll show you our letter because you know what? You should see it. Pursuant to New York, it says that you cannot have what's called an impermissible penalty in contracts, okay? Because the terms of service is a contract. And that's what they're saying. They go, you signed our contract, agreed to these terms, so you can't go back now. And so we cite to New York law saying you cannot have a term in a contract that says some terrible penalty happens that does not equal an actual damage. So this is really important. If it does not equal an actual damage that Tunecore has suffered, they don't get to just say, we're just going to keep all your money, okay? This is important.
So that goes back to, just think about the way Spotify said that they're trying to distribute money. And that's kind of why they changed their terms of agreement, is because they're saying that we can take your money for whatever reason that we want to, and then we can distribute it however it is that we want to distribute the money. So how Spotify basically says they're taking money away from people who aren't real artists, stating that real artists are people who don't get 1,000 streams, so that they can put it into a bigger pot and pay other artists. Supposedly, we don't know who they're going to pay with it because they're only paying $500 million of the $16 billion they made in revenue last year.
And Tunecore doesn't want to actually put anything in writing and to actually, respond to us. So we get on this call, and this is like strike two, right? Strike one, didn't work. Our client must be a fraudster. We provide more case law, now specific to New York jurisdiction. Strike two, they come back and they just say, no. They go, even with that, of which we don't agree. Our lawyers have drafted this and we think it's ironclad. We believe that your client has committed streaming fraud, and therefore we're not going to release the general sense of this. And
he said they're giving it to Kanye. I'm dead.
Bruh.
And on this call, what was just absolutely jaw-dropping to me is that Tunecore took the position not only that our client is not a real artist, but went on to say our client is a scumbag, not a real artist, doesn't deserve the money. It would be unethical to release it to him for all these reasons, and that they would be happy to release it even to a charity of our choosing. We just need to let them know, but they will not release it to our clients.
And that's basically what they're doing. So they're telling this man, hey, all right, maybe you didn't break any terms of service, but we think you're a scumbag and we're not going to give you your money. Because I'm sure, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to excuse old boy from having some nasty tactics. Because I know if somebody owed me tens of thousands of dollars, this is just being realistic. You're going to get the nastiest emails. I'm cussing people out. I'm going off. I'm going ham. Just being real, because you owe me tens of thousands of dollars. So we don't know if it's $20, $30, $40, $50,000, but we know it's tens of thousands. So it's more than $10,000, right? So I believe that he probably did have some nasty behaviors, and he probably did snap off and wig out, you know what I'm saying, on the phone or through emails and all this stuff. But that's natural behavior, because the behavior in which Tunecore is, showing is super nasty. So, but that still doesn't give Tunecore the right to give his money to wherever, anybody but him, because he sent him some nasty emails.
As an attorney, I typically come back to the table with the client and I say, we're at a standstill. We need to sue. Straight up. This is conversion. They've taken it. They withheld it. They're not allowed to. This is my legal position. We should sue. But guess what the barrier is for the artist? Lawsuits are extremely expensive. And in those terms of service, there's also all kinds of language, a release of liability, a limitation of liability. If you do sue us, you have to go to arbitration. And they do all these things, so it makes it near impossible for an artist to actually enforce and protect their rights.
So you see, they do everything they can not to pay you, even though these companies like somebody like Tunecore, I wouldn't think that it would be super expensive to run that platform. And I don't, how many employees do you really need? Because everything is computer or automated. So, you're uploading through a system. Just how many employees do you really need at Tunecore? So, obviously let's look at how much money Tunecore made last year. So Tunecore made $3 billion, right? In 2022, that's what it's saying right here. And Tunecore's paid 222 million artists in 2021. So, and in 2021, they made 2.5 billion. So as you can see there, that's like 10% they pay out to artists. So the other 90% is going to their investors and the employees at Tunecore.
And this is some of the stuff that we provided to Tunecore. This is a screenshot from our client's Facebook ad account. And we've redacted, of course, his personal information. You can see right here, he paid $25,000 for this.
So y'all see that? He paid $25,000 for ads so that his music could be run and people would stream it and so on and so forth. So he broke no rules. He didn't do anything wrong. He did what they tell you to do. He did what basically any music record label would do, is pay for advertising on social media sites or wherever it is they want to pay for, marketing at, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or whatever. But he spent $25,000 and they sent the proof over to Tunecore that he actually paid for advertising and didn't pay for a stream farm.
This number of campaigns during this relevant time period. And because of that, here's what happened. These are some of the analytics showing, for example, up here, that he had received a reach of 19 million people who actually saw his content. And then if you look here at the summary, the total impressions was 161 million people. So,
all right. So I don't know how many of you guys do YouTube and how many of you guys do socials, but if you look at the impressions to views, that's about what you get. So like on my YouTube page, I'm not going to pull my numbers up right now because I don't have everything blocked out and all that stuff. But basically for every 1 million impressions that I get, I'm probably going to get 90,000 to 120,000 views. It's just the way that it is, and this is pretty close to what you would get, some numbers similar to this, like it's spot on. So this isn't fudged up numbers. This is what the numbers are supposed to look like when you pay for a campaign, or if it's all organic, it's all going to look like this.
I'm not saying that Tunecore provides crappy service.
Tunecore provides crappy service I'm saying it. Tunecore provides crappy service if they don't want to pay their artist. So she gives some pretty good info there, as we can all see. I definitely recommend going to check out Top Music Attorney. Give her a subscribe, give her a like, check her out on IG. She makes music too. She's a really dope musician. But this leaves me to think, was Kanye right all along? So although Kanye went down the slope of craziness, I absolutely don't agree with everything Kanye says. Everything at the beginning of the video was not a way for me to make it seem like what Kanye said was right. It's just a way to show that there's a huge double standard. And I mean, it does show that some of the things that he talks about, he's right about, he's right about the powers to be in music and how they do whatever they want to. They take advantage of the musicians. They take our money. They do everything to not support the musician. And then at the end of the day, like they'll do stuff like put the blame on us, like blame him because he paid for a marketing, strategy. He spent $25,000. And they basically said he bought its streams, when everything shows through the impressions, through the views and all that he should get paid the tens of thousands of dollars that he deserves, because ultimately he put the money, the time and the effort into his craft. So, crazy old Kanye might have been right. Make sure if you guys do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. If you guys like, stuff like this where I'm on stream and maybe I do some reactions and stuff about serious topics, we're not doing drama. This isn't TMZ, this isn't, Page 6, none of that crap. We don't get down like that. It'll be about good topics. Let me know. But I appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Some, hit the key.